Hi everybody, it's Erin Scott here. So it's been a while since I've been on my public channel, but things are coming back. There's been some recalibrations happening in the background, and I'm focusing work with clients and members, but things are re-emerging, and there's also a new channel that's being developed. So I'll keep you posted on all of that. I did want to let you know that I'm developing some coursework, and this has been a long time coming. This has been emerging, and it's happening in the background. And what I'm going to be doing before the coursework launches, meaning the pre-recorded coursework video content, is that I am opening up let's say, a group community portal. And this was inspired by a friend of mine. So what I'm going to do is, because there are quite a few people who want to learn how to read their natal chart, they want to understand the dynamics. What do you look at? What does everything mean? How does it fit together? Because it is a holistic blueprint, right? So what I find is that the natal analyses that I do for people genuinely serve people. I get pretty good feedback. I get excellent feedback from people who have had the readings done. And a lot of them subsequently want to understand how to do it. So what I'm going to be doing is, for a limited number of spaces, because it wants to be an intimate gathering, I'm going to put on these Zoom gathering courses, an intimate group course, okay? And there's some requirements for it, so we're going to see if this is correct for you. But what this is going to be is these 5 gatherings starting on the 20th of July. Yes, this is happening, launching during Mercury retrograde. But this month is a tipping point. This Mercury retrograde is happening alongside Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, Chiron. This is a time for internalized processes, learning, and assimilation. It is a tipping point month, and there are reasons for that, multiple reasons. But we are progressing quickly. There is a quickening as we move toward January 12th, 2020, and the whole entirety of the 2020 cycle. A lot of you feel it. This is just validation of what you're feeling. We are in an intensified processes of each of us as individuals are moving through a process, whether consciously or unconsciously, of intensified change. We are transmutating. Now, in order to ride the wave optimally, with ease, with clarity, with understanding, with a sense of freedom, because we learn the narratives that are unconsciously driving us, and then we get to participate in its evolutionary process. For those of you that are keen to understand your own natal chart through an intimate group process, a learning process, you are so invited to join this. Now, it will be 5 gatherings. They're going to be 2 hours in length, which might seem long, but actually, I have to say, it goes by quickly. And we're going to need this amount of time to actually really dive in. So 5 2-hour gatherings. This is going to be on Zoom. The details will come to you once you sign up. It's going to be starting soon, in a week and a half. This is Saturday, 7/20, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK time, okay? Now, for those of you that are interested in joining, but the timing somehow doesn't work for you, it matters not, because these will be recorded and you can watch them later. So you can still learn, and in fact, you can let me know in advance of any questions that you might have that you want me to address during the process. So 5 2-hour Zoom gatherings starting Saturday, 7/20 at 12 p.m. Eastern. And then about halfway through, we'll have a little 5-minute break for anybody that needs a little drink or a little potty break, right? And these are the dates listed out. So we have the 20th, 27th, 3rd, 10th, and 17th of August. Okay? So we have a limited space, obviously, because it can't get too large if we're going to have these personalized processes. So 15 attendees would be the maximum. So it's an intimate teaching through personal chart deep dives. We'll have Q&A because these will be live. You'll be on with me live, and specific chart explorations that will be used as examples of in-depth chart analysis techniques and information gathering. And it's going to benefit the group. So your chart, if you're willing to share it, will be used as group process and group learning. It's $215, but it's $195 for those of you who have ordered from me a natal analysis or a solar return analysis. Okay? The requirements. So there's a few requirements here. You will need to submit your full birth name and full birth data to me prior to, this would be essentially at sign-in. You'll email me your full data. And I might already have you in the system if we've worked together before, okay? So you'll need to submit your full birth name and your full birth data, including exact birth time. But if you don't know your exact birth time, if you have no idea of what it is and you're unable to get it, some people's birth certificates did not record the birth time, but most people can find the time because it's in the county records, okay? If you don't know your birth time, we will use what's known as a sunrise chart, and that will be created for you, and we'll use that as interpretation. Now, I've used sunrise charts before. They do show a very firm and foundational level of accuracy for an aspect of your blueprint, of your life story. The exact time gives us the exact ascendant point, which gives us the house system, and it gives us more specifics. But there is a surprisingly broad amount of information and even specific amount of information that we can get from a sunrise chart. It's ideal with exact birth time, but a sunrise chart is interestingly accurate. I have a family member where we don't know the birth time, and there's accurate information in there, right? So this is an excellent tool for people who do not know their birth time, the sunrise chart, right? So then once you submit that to me, I'm going to email you your natal chart, and you're going to use that chart for review and use during each of these course gatherings, okay? For this course, please be willing to share your natal chart and its detailed interpretations with the group as an example. So what this is talking about is if you wish to join this intimate course meetups, these 5 meetups, and you want to be part of this group, fabulous, but you have to be willing to share your data, okay? Because we're going to be using it as live on-screen examples of chart interpretation, all right? Of course, you want to make sure you have reliable internet so that you can join the live streams. But again, note, if you are unable to join the live gatherings, it's not a problem because they'll be recorded and you can watch later. And what you can do is if you know you're not going to be able to join live, you can submit a handful of questions that you may have that you wish me to address in the upcoming course. Okay, so just a summary here. You know, this is about learning how to read your natal chart, which is your Western astrological birth chart. This is a blueprint of your life. This is a blueprint of your narrative. It's naturally imbued. It's naturally encoded. And I'll talk about a little bit about that at the introduction. So you're going to learn this with a handful of others on these weekly gatherings. The natal chart will be provided for you. That's what I'm going to give you prior to the first class. And in each of the meetings, we will dive into all of the charts. Okay. Now, they're not going to be full natal analysis for each person, but we're going to go into the specifics so that you can learn to read your own chart. These live examples will help everyone in the group to learn the multiple layers of deep chart reading. What I do, everybody, every astrologer operates differently. My focus for astrological knowledge is the self. Now, most astrologers would say that, yes, this is about interpreting the blueprint of the life. And indeed, that is what I focus on. My inherent focus with my astrological focus is evolutionary psychological astrology, which is about the arc of evolution that you are imbued with specifically and distinctly in this life. The wound sets that you hold, the narratives that you hold, the patterns of being that are natural to your narrative, and the arc of that mastery path. What are the growth edges that each individual is navigating in the growth process of this particular embodiment, right? You can read just a few. I haven't yet updated my testimonials, but you can read a few of the testimonials here. I do tend to work very deeply and profoundly. I go into the psychological aspects and the patterns of the human. Ultimately, my work, everybody, is about freeing. It's about freeing you. And it's about opening you up to natural process. Not only that, but it's also about natural mind. Essentially, my work is about soul structure, and it's about natural mind. And ultimately, the work is about the self, you, as a natural system. That's the crux of my work. And when we understand the natural systems, the organizing principles, and the distinct narrative that's at play for the individual, freedom is knocking. That's the key to the start of the path to freedom from suffering. Okay? So, my work, my background is holistic science and psychology. I actually had also an art degree, but for the sake of understanding what we're doing in this course, holistic science and psychology are imbued in the astrological wisdom that we're bringing forward here. Okay? So it's important to understand that there's a lot of juice coming through here that is broad and it is profound. So there's some key aspects that are going to be coming through here that will serve you in understanding the basics and the broad aspects and the specific aspects of your natal encoding. So for those interested, you can go to thealchemyofholism.com/theservice, and you will see two buttons there. One for the full price, $215, or for $195 for those folks who have already received from me a natal analysis or a solar return analysis. And you're interested in learning then how to read. Because ultimately, when you learn the details, the nuances, including asteroid narratives that also live in your natal chart, in your life's blueprint, then indeed, this is then a great foundational tool for you. So I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, you can email me at erin@thealchemyofholism.com. Otherwise, I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Everyone, this is a little addendum piece to the video. I wanted to let you know that I spent time analyzing the optimal start date for this particular course. And when I came up with what I intuitively felt was the correct start date and the correct amount of sessions and all of this stuff, I put a lot of thought into this. But I want to let you know that I pulled up the chart for the first course, and I have to tell you, stunning, okay? So, and we can talk a little bit about this. Perhaps on the first course, I'll touch into it. And this could be a terrific entry into the course. So on 720, on the first course, I'll dive a little bit into the brilliance of this particular chart. First of all, we have the 11 ascendant, 11 descendant. We have Chiron, healer, teacher in the 6th house of service. We have all of this stellium of planet and point in the 10th house of career and work in the world. Of course, M.Sc in Cancer, which is about providing nurturance for the collective, essentially through career or through the work. There's much more here to talk about here. Pallas Athena in the 1st, the asteroid Erin, me in the 12th house of spiritual communications, Mercury ruled, Virgo healer. So there's aspects here that are quite profound. Down here we have 4th house that's activated. Here we have the teacher in the 3rd house, part of fortune in the 8th house. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Much here. So we'll talk about some of the details of, let's say, the alignment, the pristine alignment of the course start, right? Because that's part of the narrative too. This is all part of the narrative. Dynamic times, brilliant alignments. July is the month to dive deep. So if you're willing to dive deep, you are so willing, you're so invited to come and join. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.